next 8 hours or so is really kind of crunch time for this storm because it is going to be rapidly strengthening, and as it does so, making its way toward the eastern, or I should say the western coast of Florida, the eastern panhandle really. So the area that's really on notice, basically from Tampa right up through that Big Bend area. So the eastern panhandle right down along the Gulf Coast. This is a Category 1 hurricane this morning. Max sustained winds 90 miles per hour. It's moving to the north-northeast at 12 miles per hour, and you can see these outer rain bands already impacting spots like Tampa down to Fort Myers, and we have to watch for severe weather as well. When you have the rotation around a tropical system, a lot of times you'll see rotation in these outer bands, and that can lead to tornadoes, just basically to add insult to injury before the storm even arrives. So a severe weather threat this morning, and then we bear down and watch this storm continuing to explode in the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico. There's also not a lot of wind shear, so it's an area that's very conducive to further strengthening. By 2 o'clock, this will be a Category 3 hurricane, or at least that's the latest track from the National Hurricane Center. Winds sustained at 115 miles per hour, then making landfall later this evening as a Category 3, a massive storm. It will likely come on shore just east of Apalachicola. This is the Appalachia Bay area. Again, areas just to the east of that track will likely see the worst of the storm surge and the worst of the wind. Winds, again, sustained upwards of 120, 125 miles per hour. That then moves inland, and you can see rain will even overspread portions of Kentucky and Tennessee, and we'll start to get some of those outer bands by later tonight, even here in our region. But the worst of this will be along the Florida coast, where as much as 15 to 20-foot storm surge is possible in that purple shaded area. Again, from that Big Bend area right on down toward Tampa. Tampa looking at a 5 to 8-foot storm surge with this system. Coming up, we'll take you through the timing of, again, when those bands could impact our region and what to expect as you plan your weekend. Kim, I'll send it over to you. Good morning.
Good morning, Kate.
Yeah, we are continuing to watch Helene very closely, not impacting our weather directly today, but we'll start to see some of the outer bands from that massive storm impact us by tomorrow night. So I'm going to open up the walls of our next weather sphere, and you can see for our region this morning, it's cloudy, it's damp, it's dreary, much like it has been the past few mornings. But what I want to do is take you over to the latest on Helene. Now, Helene is a Category 1 hurricane this morning. It continues to strengthen in the Gulf of Mexico, and it's really over the next 8 to 12 hours that it will undergo a period of rapid strengthening before landfall later on this evening along the coast of Florida, right around that Big Bend area. You can see the curve of Appalachia Bay there. That's where we expect this to go. So here's the storm this morning. Category 1, winds sustained at about 90 miles per hour, and here is the latest track. This brings it to Category 3 strength. Now, originally this was expected to reach Category 4 strength. It's now looking like a strong Category 3. The impacts are roughly the same, just the winds may be slightly less, which is some good news. But again, storm surge flooding, especially around that Big Bend area of Florida, that is going to be one of the greatest impacts we feel from this system, as well as again, the threat for catastrophic wind damage. So I'm going to go up and pull up our national map on the floor here. And what I want to show you with this is basically the precipitation and also all the watches and warnings that are in effect. Let's put on your watches and warnings here, and you can see all of the red shading. Basically what this is showing are hurricane warnings. In effect, the entire state of Florida is covered, and these hurricane and tropical storm warnings extend all the way into the Carolinas, Georgia, and even Tennessee this morning. Let's also pull up basically what we're looking at as far as precipitation. So this is the next 24 hours or so. This storm is going to continue to move north. There's already rain out ahead of it. There is the landfall this evening, and then watch what happens. The center of the low moves west, but this storm is already very, very large, and you can see it's even going to spread out a bit more. So by the time we get into tomorrow night, we will be dealing with some of those outer rain bands even here in Philadelphia. So let's time those out here at home. I'm going to put the map down, and we're going to head over to our local forecast here. We'll start off with basically what you're seeing outside today. And what you're seeing outside today, as we showed you out the windows here, a lot of cloud cover, and there are some showers out there moving mainly across Maryland this morning and starting to drift up toward the Poconos and the Lehigh Valley. This not really associated with Helene, and we'll get a little bit of a break in the action between those showers and the rain that's going to start lifting in with the hurricane as we get into tonight. So most of today is dry. It's just kind of cloudy, it's warm, it's humid, temperatures in the upper 70s, maybe some spots hit 80. And again, if there are showers this morning, it's mainly up across the Poconos. But look how these rain chances increase as we head through the day tomorrow. A couple of bands of showers possible even in the morning, but it's later tomorrow night from about 10 p.m. tomorrow through Saturday morning that we'll start to see bands of tropical downpours associated with Helene make their way into our region. There's that first band tomorrow night, and showers will linger into Saturday morning. Now, the weekend doesn't look like a total washout because the center of Helene will stay far enough to the south and west that we're just going to see scattered showers and a lot of cloud cover through the weekend. So your local impacts, bands of rain arriving, especially late tomorrow. Tomorrow night is the worst of it. Localized tropical downpours. And again, it's not heavy rain that's going to last for hours and hours, but it's rain that could come down at a very, very heavy clip for an hour or two and could lead to some localized flooding or some slowdowns on area roadways. But the center of Helene is still going to be off to the west, and we have to watch that swing through early next week, and that's going to bring more shower chances and more clouds to the forecast even into Monday and Tuesday. The takeaway being, doesn't look like we have another nice day in the forecast until maybe Thursday of next week. 6 o'clock Saturday morning, here's how much rain will have fallen for us. Over an inch possible in spots like Wilmington. Here in Philadelphia, we could pick up over 3/4 of an inch, near an inch in Atlantic City. Now, these bullseye areas will likely shift depending on where the heaviest showers set up, but we can use this rain. It's not the worst thing in the world for us. Where we are going to see the risk for devastating flooding is across the south. Again, the Florida Panhandle, much of Georgia, the Carolinas, and Tennessee, where upwards of a half a foot or even more could fall. Near a foot of rainfall, again, could lead to massive amounts of flooding. For us, rain chances of at least 50% in the forecast through Tuesday of next week. So again, as I pull up your next weather 7-day forecast, we don't really have another nice day to tell you about for a while here. 78 degrees with clouds today, steadier rain tomorrow night into Saturday morning. We may dry out for a time this weekend. It does turn cooler. And then even early next week, clouds and showers in the forecast, especially Monday and Tuesday. Kim, I'll send it over to you.
Kate, thank you.